Once upon a time, in the quaint town of Bremen, there lived an old musician who had once filled the streets with beautiful melodies. But now his big, fine house stood nearly empty, and he lived there alone, his heart heavy with loneliness. Word spread through the town that the musician's grand house was almost vacant, and one day, a rascally band of Scadiddling squirrels barged right through the front door. Without so much as a knock, they made themselves at home, grabbing instruments and making the most unpolished, unpracticed music anyone had ever heard. Each squirrel played their tune, completely ignoring the others. It was clear they had never taken the time to practice, or even listen to one another. The noise was unbearable. The poor musician, unable to stand the cacophony, packed a small bag and left his beloved house, heading toward the peaceful silence of the woods. As he walked down the road, he heard a soft, mournful sound. It was music, played slowly and low but full of heart. Following the sound, he found a donkey sitting in a mud puddle, singing a song of sorrow. The donkey's back was sore, and he could no longer carry his heavy load. "Come with me," said the musician kindly. "I would love your company." The donkey hesitated. "I'm too afraid to leave the only home I've ever known." "Have courage," said the musician. "Play your music with mine, and we'll find a new home together." Encouraged, the donkey joined the musician, and the two continued. Soon they heard another sound, a sad whimpering tune. They followed it and found a dog lying in a bramble bush, his fur tangled in stinging thorns. The dog's eyesight had faded, and he felt useless and alone. "Your music is beautiful," said the musician and the donkey. "Join us. We would love your company." The dog sighed. "I don't know. I'm scared to leave the only home I've ever known." "Have courage," said the musician and the donkey. "Play your music with ours and come." The dog joined them with a wag of his tail, and the trio continued their journey. Before long, they heard yet another sound, this time a duet of sorrow. They followed the melody and found a rooster and a cat sitting in a field. Their heads hung low. The rooster and cat shared their story. They had been called useless and cast out to the field. "But your music is beautiful," said the musician, the donkey, and the dog. "Join us. We would love your company." The cat and rooster exchanged nervous glances. "We're scared to leave the only home we've ever known." "Have courage," said the musician, the donkey, and the dog. "Play your music with ours and come." With newfound hope, the rooster and cat joined the group, and the five friends traveled together, their music growing richer with every step. As they walked, the musician told them about the Scadiddling squirrels who had taken over his house. The animals were outraged. "We must help you get your house back," said the dog. And so they turned around and headed back to Bremen. When they reached the house, the animals tiptoed to a window and peeked inside. Sure enough, the squirrels were still there, making an awful racket. The noise upset the animals so much that the donkey began to hee-haw. The dog barked, the cat meowed, and the rooster crowed. At first, their sounds were just as chaotic as the squirrels' music. But then they remembered. They had practiced together, and they knew how to listen to one another. Taking a deep breath, they began to play in harmony. Their music was so beautiful that the squirrels stopped mid-screech, realizing how terrible they sounded. Embarrassed, the squirrels scurried out of the house, vowing to practice and learn to play together properly. The musician, touched by their determination, offered to give the squirrels music lessons. As for the donkey, dog, cat, and rooster, they moved into the house with the musician. They had found the courage to embrace a new home, and together, they spent their days making music, filling the house with joy and laughter. In time, they became known as the Bremen town musicians, famous far and wide for their beautiful harmonies. So famous, in fact, that a statue was made in their honor. Perhaps one day you'll visit Bremen and see it for yourself. And as for the Scadiddling Squirrels, well, they practiced hard, learned to listen to one another, and eventually formed their band, proving that even the most rascal creatures can change with a little courage and a lot of practice.